Yes, it has been a while since I've been on this YouTube channel. I want to say what's good with everybody. How y'all been? It's been a while. It's been busy with things going on. A very busy week. Well, the first couple of days of the week, very busy. But today's video, we're going to talk about signs of a weak man. Now, this could be towards relationships, or you could gear it towards just everyday life. And this article is coming from herbeauty.com/relationships. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, most of this, and put my own spin on certain things. But the article first says defining a weak or strong man becomes tricky when you think about all of the conditioning going on in our society. What the majority defines as strong has damaged the lives of thousands of men all over the world. While women are expected to be emotional, gentle, nurturing, and good looking, men also get their fair share of expectations. They're supposed to be strong, both physically and mentally, never express their emotions freely, never cry, be competitive, and so on and so forth. Now, at a certain point, a man never is supposed to be all up in his emotions. A man is never supposed to be crying, always emotional all the time over every little thing. I agree that because at the end of the day, it makes that man look weak and makes him look bad, like he can't handle certain things. But continuing, when you start to date a guy, it's hard to tell whether he is actually strong and confident because he knows and loves himself, or he is just playing the game to appear that way. And some people do. Some people play that game, and some people will get exposed at the end because once you get to know a person for a minute, they start to get exposed. Now, here's the first sign that you're weak. It says selfish. Selfishness comes from weakness of character and shows lack of care and love in his life. His parents are probably to blame, but if he hasn't realized that being selfish doesn't lead anywhere good by now, he probably never will. Only a weak man will care about his own needs only, not think about what other people might be feeling at all. Now, I'm not going to blame parents because, like I said, every person has their personality. You can have both parents that are good, but you can have that other person that's just selfish as hell and don't care. Now, being selfish in a relationship doesn't necessarily work. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't necessarily work. Because if you're not able to be in a servitude position when that other person is in a servitude position for you, it's not going to work because you can't sit there and you can't get mad when woman asks you, can you please take out the trash? And you having a debate about it, or you're throwing your hands up in the air, or you getting mad. Well, why I gotta take out the trash? Why I gotta do this? Well, can you put this in the car? Why I gotta do this? I'm doing something. Why can't you do it? That's being selfish. That's showing you that you only care about what you want, but you don't care about what other people want. Once you in a relationship, that I is gone. Is both. Is team. There's no I in team. You have to cater to her needs as well as she has to cater to your needs, and it has to be 50-50, not 80-20. Okay, continuing. Unemotional. Yes, we believe that a strong man is brave enough and confident enough to show his emotions. A weak one will always think what others would say or think, ending up suppressing what he truly feels, and you know, and that is also a sign of a weak man. Now, when I mean unemotional, you know, it's not about the man has to be emotional, but a man has to say how he feels, and has to be able to feel a certain way on what he believes, and not always worrying about what others are going to say or what others think. Continuing, doesn't take responsibility and talk about planning a trip with his girlfriend or blaming others for his mishaps in life. A weak man is scared of responsibility and will avoid it no matter what. Being responsible means to take charge of your life and admit that everything that happens to you is your own doing. Okay? Weak men will rather blame the world for the state that they're in. And to me, you can't blame the world because you're in this state. You can't blame the president Donald Trump because you're in this state. You can't blame your childhood because you're in this state. If something is wrong and something you have mishaps going on, you have to take responsibility and take charge of the situation. You have to you have to take responsibility. You can't sit there and blame it on somebody else. You can't sit there and try to, oh, I don't want to do this. That you have to take charge of your situation. You have to take charge of your life. Weak people, weak men don't take charge of their life. They let other people control their life for them, and that way this and that makes life very, very miserable when you let other people control your life when you are the producer of your own show. When you are the producer and the director of your own show, you control what goes on in your life, not everybody else. Another one. It says bad listener. Selfish people pretend not to care most of the time. Actually caring about someone become tricky for them. So when the girlfriend needs someone to talk to after a hard day of work or simply because, well, women like to talk about their feelings. Sometimes the man won't actually listen. He might pretend that he does, but it won't be real. And at the end of the day, you always want to listen, to what your woman or girlfriend, wife is saying to you. Try to be compassionate, try to understand where she's coming from. You might not want to hear it sometimes, but at least be compassionate. And if she had a hard day at work, try to console her and say, look, it's going to be all right. Try to motivate her. That's what you have to do. Men have to learn how to be good listeners instead of just hearing one ear out another. Another one, trying hard to please everybody. And it says most weak men rely on other people's opinions in their life. And that's why it's important that everyone thinks he's a good guy, even if it's not actually true. Keeping up appearances is what weak men are good at. But as you start to get to know him better, you'll notice that it all comes from insecurity and desire to be loved. So at the end of the day, and that's why I said this is when a lot of people get exposed when people start to know you better. Because they know, okay, this is not really who he is. He's doing this to try to, to hide his insecurities because he's always worrying about other people's opinions. Screw their opinions. Their opinions has nothing to do with you. People are going to think of the way they think about you no matter what. It's nothing you can do. Everybody's not going to like you. That's just the way it is. And we have to understand that. I mean, people are just not going to like you. Worry about the ones that do like you. Laziness. Okay. Not only lazy to do something about the house or lazy at his work, but also lazy in general, as in lacking motivation to do something with his life or other than work and relax after work. Strong alpha males have dreams, desires, hobbies, and aspirations, while the weaker side of men don't want to venture into anything quote unquote dangerous that might put them in a bad life. So it's not saying you go out there and start doing something crazy, doing something out of the blue that's going to possibly get you hurt, but you have no hobbies, you have no aspirations, you're just coming and going to work, just doing the minimum you can do at work, then go home, relax after work, and go back. That's really no ambition. That's laziness. That's just, you know, leaving the house messed up, not doing anything to clean it. That's lazy too. You always want to clean up your house. You don't want your house looking dirty and stuff like that either. Another one. He doesn't protect his woman. And men are territorial creatures, at least the strong ones are. And, you know, talking about being jealous to every guy that looks her way, but rather about situations that require a show of masculinity. Someone may be hitting on her while they're both at a bar or saying some bad things. Naturally, a man will protect his woman, but in this case, weak men will not do anything because they will try to avoid conflict at all costs. And I'm gonna speak on this. Number one, if you're with your woman and you're out on a date and another man comes after you, talks to your woman, and you're not doing anything about it, you're not protecting her, you letting this person disrespect your woman and you not doing anything, and you're just looking the other way, then I wouldn't blame her if she leaves you that night. Because number one, if somebody comes up to your woman and starts saying disrespectful things to her and hitting on her while you sitting there, he getting checked right away. And someone told me, "Well, I don't want to get into a fight or a confrontation." It doesn't matter. Let me tell you something. There's going to be situations where you're going to have to turn it up a little bit. There's going to be situations where you have to turn up and let these people know that you're not a joke. Now, I understand it's not trying to, you don't want confrontation or conflict, but at the end of the day, sometimes you have to get your point across. And sometimes you might have to get into a confrontation so that situation will never happen again. A lot of men don't want conflicts. A lot of men don't want confrontations. No, I don't want confrontation either, but I'm not going to run from it if a situation crosses. That's like at a job. If I'm feeling I'm being done wrong, I'm going to say something about it. It doesn't matter because I know my worth. So why am I going to sit there and just let it blow down let it just blow off and not do something about it? No, I'm going to say something. And it might be uncomfortable for a minute, but at the end of the day, you're going to feel a lot better standing up for yourself instead of letting people just do whatever. Okay, continuing. Not invested in inner growth. It says we are talking about intellect, spirituality, mindfulness, and all those things that makes us decent humans. You need to work on yourself to become a better person. Simply dating a good woman won't make you better. You need to read books, communicate with interesting people, think a lot, exchange ideas, and evolve eventually. Weak men aren't interested in things like that. They think they are perfect the way they are, and if they're not, they're too scared or lazy to do something about it. So basically, what that means is, you're not bettering yourself. You're staying in this bubble, but you're not trying to evolve. You're staying the same way. You're not trying to evolve and do different things and try to, better yourself, smarten yourself up in certain ways. That's what that really means. And don't be scared to do something about it or too lazy. Just fix. Sometimes you got to tweak a little things. And we have two more. It says he's acting like a child, turning his partner into a parent. There are men that like to act like big children, and that is the least cute thing in the world. He would leave all his stuff lying around the house and wait for his partner to clean it up. He would also delegate his responsibility and unpaid bills to her just because it's so easy. A weak man likes to have as few responsibilities in his life as possible. And and a lot of men get this, and you see a lot of videos on YouTube saying, "Man, I'm a nice guy. I don't know why I finished last. I want to date somebody else." Let me tell you something. The biggest turnoff of a woman is you acting like a child, and she has to be your mother. Because when it comes to that, that woman is not going to respect you. She's not going to respect you. Because number one, you should not leave your responsibilities and your bills up to that woman. It is your man. You are the man of the house. You're supposed to make sure that all the bills are paid. The main bills are paid, like the rent, the utilities, and all that other stuff. You are responsible for that. So if you gotta do some overtime to try to get your money up, you gotta do that. If you gotta put some things off on the back burner, you gotta do that. But you cannot, And the worst thing is to leave your stuff messed up, so the woman have to come home and clean up after you. Because at the end of the day, a woman's not going to respect that. And if you can't pay your bills and you're leaving it up to her, that's going to drive the woman insane. And now that woman is going to be more aggressive towards you. Now a woman is going to start, you're going to see a change in that woman. She's going to like you, love you, and that in the beginning. But as time goes on, she sees that you're avoiding certain things. She's going to start to get more aggressive towards you later down the line because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And the final thing is, men doesn't like to talk about the future. Strong men look into the future with awe and aspiration, while the weaker men are scared of all the mishaps it may bring. That's why he doesn't like to talk about the future of his relationship with a woman. Wedding, kids, or career growth, this means change, settling down, and more challenges than he could care for. A weak man will avoid such topics, trying to change them to a less serious one. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with talking about the future. There's nothing wrong with, because women, they're going to talk about getting married. They're going to talk about having kids. That's what women are going to talk about. There's nothing you can do about that. Women, they want to talk about, they want the wedding. They want the kids. They want the big family. They want, you know, a woman wants to settle down with a man, and sometimes a weak man, they don't want to hear that. Why are you bringing up marriage? Why are you bringing up? You trying to tie me down? You trying to keep me? And if a man is sitting there saying that, that means he's not ready to be with one woman. That means he's looking for other options, because a woman should be able to talk about marriage and a man not be able to flinch, not 1 second, because a woman's going to talk about marriage. A woman's going to sit there, she's going to talk about her dream wedding. Now, I agree that she shouldn't force you to marry her. She shouldn't force you to settle down with her. No, that is up to you if you want to marry her or not. And then at the end of the day, if you're still not planning on marrying her or planning to move forward on your relationship, then y'all got to sit down and, really, think about the future now. Because, a lot of women said, listen, if you're not talking about marriage no time soon and you not talking about settling down no time soon, then what are we doing? So, that's another video. That's another video and for that topic. But, that's showing signs that, weak men really have to start to do. Now, I'm not saying that you should change who you are, but you have to tweak some things around. And, all the examples that I gave you is an example that if you could tweak some things around, no, I'm not saying you're supposed to become a different person, someone unrecognizable, but if you can tweak some stuff around and how you go about your everyday life, you will be a much better person, and you'll be able to handle things in your relationships, and your work relationships and work career will be a little bit smoother. But we have to make these changes. We can't sit around here and avoid responsibility, avoid conflict, being lazy, trying to please everybody, listening. We have to learn these responsibilities, and the selfishness also. We have to just tweak some stuff, not become a different person, but just work on the things that I've talked about. And if you do that, you'll become a much better person. So if you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, also comment and like.